Hello everyone, my name is Ajay. This is the second video of the WCF service. So here in this video I'm going to explain how you can consume a service in a MVC application. So before watching this video, I prefer you to watch my previous video where I was explaining how to develop a WCF service, and also I was implementing all the CORD operations, all the 4 CORD operations using entity code first approach. So in this video I'm going to explain how you can consume this service into a MVC application. So for that, so right now if you see, this is my service and all I need is the service URL. So if you see, my service URL is this one. So for consuming it in an MVC application, I want to open a new Visual Studio. And here I want to create a new project, new MVC project. So ASP.NET Web Application MVC sample. Okay, so MVC sample project for consuming WCF. I'm clicking on OK, and so I want to have an empty application with the MVC pattern. So just I selected the empty pattern with the MVC template, MVC pattern. So I'm clicking on OK. It's getting created. So here if you see, I got my MVC application created. My project is ready for now. So first of all, for consuming that service in this application, I mean this service in this service in this application, I need to use the URL of that service. I mean I need to copy the URL of that service and I need to go to the reference and click on add service reference, and there you need to paste the URL of your web service and just click on go. So you can see the service over there and click on OK. I mean friends, before watching this video also, I prefer you to watch the videos related to MVC. I mean, so I'm not explaining much about MVC in this video, so I prefer you to watch all about MVC before watching this video. So after adding the service reference, I got the service classes and everything added to this one. So if you see in this folder, I got the service added. I mean, to this namespace I got this service one client. So we are in this. So for consuming all the methods, I mean all these methods in the MVC application, I need to create an object for this service one client in my desired method, and I can consume the methods that I want actually. So for that, so for starting, initially I want to create a new controller, add a new controller in the MVC application. So I want to take an empty controller, naming it as person controller. Okay, so here I want to have 4 action methods for displaying the persons, for inserting the persons, for updating and deleting the persons. So I want to have 4 action methods. The first one would be get persons. For non just returning a view. The second action method I want is to insert a person. I want action method for update person. I want another for delete person. So in the insert person, usually I need to expect a person object. So if you see, this person is a complex type that I'm consuming from the service. So from this namespace, I mean, if you go and see in the definition, so actually this is the class where, I mean, where it is consuming from the service. So this is the person class, this is the person class where it is in the service. So I'm consuming it in the MVC application, so it internally creates in this way. So right now I want to create an object, I mean whatever I want to insert into the insert to the person, I mean whatever information I want to send to the service in the person in the form of person object. So I want to create that object to this person, and I can send that object to the service. So for that I was using this person, and to that I'm creating the object. Okay, person object, and for update person also I need to pass a person object. Okay, and for deleting I need to pass ID. Okay, so for initially first I want to start with the get persons. So for this I want to add a view. So I just added the view for the get persons. So here if you see, I got a folder automatically created called persons, and here if you can see the .cs HTML file for that view. And here I just want to display the person details in the form of table. So as you can, I mean, so in my person table I'm having 3 columns, so I also want 3 columns over here. Okay, so I want to make this heading. This will be the ID, this will be the name, this will be the address. Okay, so this is my table actually. So this is my table. I want to display all the details from the service, and I want to display, I want to get all the details from the service, and I want to display it in this table. So I'm done with the view, and now I have to get the details from the service, right? So for that, for getting the details from the service, for getting the table data from the service, I want to create an object for the service client where I was showing you before. See, service one client. So I need to create an object for this, I mean for consuming all the service methods, all the service method, I need to create an object for service one client. So that's the reason I was creating the object for it. Okay, and to that object, using that object I can get all the methods of that. So for this I want to get the get persons method. So about that method, so if you see, it's actually a collection, I mean I mean I'm calling that method from the service. So here it will be having a person, I mean here I can show it is sending the data in the person array in the form of person array. So for now I want to convert this to a list, and I want to store it in a list with a generic type of person. Okay, and using a view back, so I want to use this viewback.list to send this data to the view. So I'm just storing the list value in the viewback.list. So I can access the data in the view by using viewback.list. So can go to the, so for now, I mean, here if you see, I'm done with, I mean, our, so for now in this method you can say I can get the data from the service that I want. So I'm just passing this data to the view using viewback.list. So I can use this viewback.list in the view for consuming this list, and I can populate into the table. So I'm just copying this viewback.list. I'm going to person. Okay. So I want to use the for each. For each loop for populating the data to the table, and I want to iterate each row every time. Okay, so where atom in, where atom in, so this is my collection, right? Viewback.list. Okay, so where atom in viewback.list. So this will be having all the details of the, I mean, all the data of this table. So that's the reason I'm using here. So, and I want to populate each item to the table columns. So item dot id, item dot name, item dot address. Okay, so I mean, this will be getting the data from the service, and then after it will be populating to the UI. That's it. So I'm done with this this view for showing the person details in the UI. So let me run and check whether it's working or not. Okay, so this is so I didn't get the expected output. The reason is that I need to run this service before using anywhere. So I want to run my service, and now I think I can use it again. Just reloading it. Okay, so there seems to be some error. Actually, I'm not getting the expected data. So the mistake is that I forgot to use @ here. I mean, this is HTML, but this will detect from the code. Actually, that's the reason I forgot to use this one. So let me check it right now. So here if you see, I got the expected data, and just to make it clear, I want to use a table border. Okay, so let me run it now. So if you see, I got the expected data. I mean, I got the data from the table through the MVC application. I mean, to the MVC application. So if you see the process, the UI actually comes to the MVC application, then after it goes to the service, and then after from the service it goes to the database, and from the database again it goes to the service, and from the service the response comes to the MVC, and from this MVC I will get the data populated to the UI in the browser. So that's all the process. I mean, I can also show you by using the breakpoints. So let me have a breakpoint over here in the MVC application, and another breakpoint the service. Okay, and let me show you again what actually it happens. So if you see, my first breakpoint was hit in the MVC application at the get persons. So I mean, now the next breakpoint was in the service. So from here I started the next breakpoint, and it is running, and it is getting the data from the database, and it is returning a list. And this list, I mean, I got this list value in this MVC application again, and it is storing in the view back.list, and I'm returning the view again. So it is populating each and every item from the list. So I got the data here in this table. So that's how it works. I mean, that's how we can consume a service in the MVC application. So I'm done with the get persons. I'm done with displaying the person details, and the next thing I want to do is to insert a person. I want to create action method in the person controller for inserting a person. So for that I want to add another view to the insert person. So here actually I need like 3 text fields for inserting a person. Input type is as text, and the name, remember the name must match the property of your person. I mean, when you send the when you send anything to the action method, I mean, when you submit anything from the form to the action method, it gets in the form of it will match the names of the each element name, and it will populate to this object. So that's the reason you have to match the name with the element name, I mean the property name with the element name. So before the okay, so name is id for id. Okay, and I want to have this everything in a form, and the method is post. So I mean, to this form the method type is post, and the action that I want to use, I mean this action is nothing but just it will, whatever you submit the data, it will be redirecting to the action method that you want. So the syntax is actually this, the direct URL, and I mean no need of using the controller actually. Okay, so this is my form actually. So whatever data that I submit, it will be redirected, it will be sent to the action method that I want to send it to in the form of post method. I mean it must accept the post method. So for that I want to create another action method which will accept the post request. So okay, and the name is insert person, and there I think so I need a person object actually there. So for the first time I just want to display the view. I mean this method is responsible for just displaying the view where it will be having the form, and whenever the user fills the form and submits, it will come to this HTTP post action method, and the details will be matching the person object details will be matching with the names of the elements, and it will be stored in this object, and from this object I can pass it to the object. So for now I will be completing the form. So in the form, if you see, the form method is post, and the action is redirecting. The action must redirect to the insert person action method with the HTTP post on that. So in this form I want to have 3 text fields. The first one is ID, and the second one is name. So I want to name this as, the name must match the property of the person class. So remember that. If you know MVC, you know about that. And this must be of address. Okay. So make sure these names are matching the person property names. Okay, so I'm done with the text fields and I want to have a submit button. Values insert. Okay, so whenever for the first time when you run this action method, it will just display the view, just the empty view with the empty form. So when I fill the details in the form, it will redirect to this method. Why? Because this is the HTTP post and the form is sending the data in the form of post. So this will hit this method and that will hit this method, and the details will be stored in this object, and I can do whatever I want in the next step using this object. So if you see the view, I'm done with the form. So the only next thing is that I have to go to the person controller, and to this method I have to use the service method for inserting the person into the database. So for using the service method, I want to create the object for the service client again, and to the service client I can call the insert person method, and here if you see it is expecting a person object, so I can directly pass this person obj into that. Okay, so that's it. Let me keep a breakpoint here, and let me keep a breakpoint here. So I'm done with the method also actually. So if I run the program, if I fill the details in the view, I have to get the details over here. So let me run and check it whether it's working or not. So here you can see for the first time it is hitting the breakpoint of this action method, where it is simply returning the view for me. Just it will be returning an empty view for me. Okay, so I'm filling the values. Yes, India. Okay, so here you can see the breakpoint was hit again in the in this action method, where it is HTTP post actually. So I've said before, this form method is post and this is redirecting to insert person. So whenever you submit some data, it will go to the action method where it is HTTP post, and to this person object, if you see, I got the values. I got the values that is matching the names of the element. So address is India, the name is Ajay, and the ID is 1. So everything is good. I got the required data from the form, and let me insert it using the service. So it's this. Okay. So let me check in the database whether I got the data or not. Yeah, I got the data. If you see, I got the Ajay inserted into the database. Okay, let me show you by keeping the breakpoints in the service also. Just for explaining the process, let me keep a breakpoint the insert person over here, and let me insert another person again. I'm inserting ID 5 of name John. Okay, I'm inserting it. So when I posted, it came to this action method, and from here if you see, it came to the service, and here it got that object which I was sending from the MVC application, and it is inserting into the database, and then after, if you go and check the database, you will get the data that you have inserted into it. So for now I'm done with the insert and update, insert and displaying the persons method in the MVC application. Also, I mean, I'm done with consuming these two methods. I'm done with consuming the insert person method and the get persons method, and it is working. It is working fine, no issues on that. So the next thing I want to do is I just want to update the person details. I mean, for this I want to have another method. Just for returning for displaying an empty view to the on the browser. So this will be the empty view that will be displaying onto the browser, and this will be the HTTP post action method. I mean, when the user fills the form and when he submits, it will redirect to this method, same as the insert person. So before that, I want to add a view to update person. So the update person is also the same. It's same as the insert person. I mean, it is same as the insert person form. So where it will be having 3 values, and when I insert that values, it will update that value where that ID is matching. So I have to change the action. That's it, to update. Okay, so if you see update person, okay, I'm done with this view, and I want to keep a breakpoint over here, okay. So I'm done with the view, and the only thing that I want to do is I want to consume the service method where I can update the person details to the database. So for that, again, I want to get an object for the service client, and to that, by using that object, I can call the update person method from the service. And here, if you see in the update person, it is expecting a person object, so that I can pass this object into that. Okay, so everything is done. So for now, I want to update the second row where from promote to, I want to just update the address from India to address in the second row. So for that, I want to run this MVC application. Of the update person. So let's test and check whether it's working or not. Okay, for the first time I have to return empty view, so it is hitting this breakpoint, this action method. So it just displays empty view for me. So here you can see update person. So the idea of the second row is to, I want to pass the name as promote, maybe the same name. Issues in the name. I just want to change the address to USA. Let me. Okay, it was hitting the breakpoint successfully. Okay, let's check in the database. So if you see, my the address of the Pramod was changed to USA. It was India before. So the update functionality is also working fine, but I forgot to rename this thing over there. So that's it. So update functionality is also working fine. Everything is fine with update. So as you've seen, it is also working fine, where it was updating the details successfully. So I'm done with all these 3 methods, consuming all these 3 methods, and the final method is deleting a person. So here again I want to implement, again I want to have another action method for posting the data. So this is HTTP post. And for the first action method, I just want to display empty view, so I don't want anything. So this is the action method where I will be posting the data for deleting the person. Okay, so for this delete person I want to add a view, and I'm naming it as delete person. So again I want to have a form for this. So the action, I want to redirect it to delete person action method. So I've changed the name, and this time I want only the ID parameters, so I'm using only ID text field, and here I want to change it to delete. Okay, so I'm done with the view, and now I have to implement the method. I have to consume the service method for deleting the person. So as it is HTTP post method, I have to consume the service here, consume the delete person service here. So for doing that, I want to create the object for service client again, and by using that I can call the delete person method. So here you can see it is expecting ID, so I can pass this ID to that. Okay, done. So let me have a breakpoint here, and let me also have a breakpoint the service. Okay, so I'm done with the breakpoints. So let me test whether it is deleting the person or not. Okay, let me test whether it is deleting the person or not. So I'm done with the delete person method, and let me go and run this one. So for now I want to delete uh, the second row from the table. So the second row ID is 2, so I want to pass 2 as the ID. Let me delete that. And so here you can see it was hitting the breakpoint of this action method delete person where I was posting the data. Okay, and here it is calling the service. So it came again, you can see in the service it was hitting the breakpoint at the delete person, and from here it gets connected to the database, and it will be deleting that row from the table, and it will display it will just give me a view again onto the browser. So let's check whether it was deleted or not. So if you see it clearly says the second row was deleted from the table. So that's it. That's it about consuming a WCF service in the MVC application. Here in this MVC application I was showing you how you can consume all these service methods from the service. In this video I was specially showing you about all the CRUD operations, so where it was performing from the database. So this is all about consuming the service in the MVC application. So in the next video I would like to explain, I would like to make this WCF service to a REST based service. I want to whatever I was doing up to now is a SOAP based service. This is known as a SOAP based service. So in the next video I just want to convert this SOAP based service to a REST based service, and then after in further I want to consume that REST based service using Ajax jQuery. So for now, in this video I was explaining about how you can consume it in a MVC application, a SOAP based WCF service in a MVC application. That's it about this video. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.